Hello, everyone in Katribu. I am Dina Ventura,
And I'm Francine Marquez.
and
And
welcome
welcome to
to
Spotlight.
Tribuna Spotlight.
Yes.
How are you, Francine?
I'm good. How are you, Dina?
Very nice afternoon
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Sunny.
I'm enjoying my stay at home. We all know that workplaces are now in hybrid mode.
I know, and
Partially in the office, sometimes, and work from home
right.
also.
Have you tried fixing your home office?
Well, yes, I've been trying to take out all the accumulated papers that I've had through the years and maybe come up with new furniture later on.
Diba?
Yeah,
And
it really makes you reflective when you work
mm,
from home.
you really review your spaces, diba? And that's why parang a lot more people I think are fixing up their spaces, whether it's at home or office or
Mm.
place of business, di ba?
Yeah, and we become plantitas aside from being Martha Stewarts.
Mhm.
Put some greens as well. And it's also nice to bring in something natural, di ba?
Mhm.
Like natural furniture made of wood, made of fabrics,
Yes,
and which brings us to our guest today.
I know. Very
A
ano
very
siya, relevant to the times.
Yes, a very creative, innovative, and has an interesting pandemic story that we want to hear today.
Right.
So I'll just get into the details of who our special guest is. He's an architect, a graduate of the University of the Philippines in Diliman, an MBA graduate of Waseda University in Tokyo. He has managed multi-million dollar projects including
Mhm.
high-rise commercial
Mhm.
developments and luxury
Wow.
hotels in Singapore and Japan. I think
Mhm.
that's where he faced the lockdown before things
Let's
eventually
find out.
unfolded into a new phase in his life. He demonstrates a unique expertise in construction, luxury interior design, and furnishings. We're excited to meet him. Dina, let's welcome Jed Yabut.
Yes, the principal
Hi,
and CEO of Jed
Uh,
Yabut Furniture and Design.
welcome to Spotlight.
thank you so much for having me on this show. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
So,
So we're seeing you in your studio.
No, actually, in our house, home.
But
Yeah,
nice.
it's actually a home office na rin siya. And
mhm.
for a
Oh,
long time, since the
oh,
pandemic began and I started the business,
Mhm.
our living room has become the storage ng mga furniture. Once it's finished, some of them actually go straight here. And because right now we're also preparing for the showroom, and so why some of
mm,
them are actually packed behind me, and we don't have a space at the moment. So
Mhm.
mm,
I'd rather put it here where it's safe. Kung sa workshop kasi sometimes it becomes really dusty there, and
yeah,
then have to retouch again. So I'd rather put it here.
yeah, but looks comfy, yeah, and very nice. That's a corner I would love to be in, di ba, Dina?
I love the
Yeah, so,
color, no? The
oh
color
yeah,
and the parang it's so
Thank you.
cozy.
it has the tropical local vibe. But
It has. It
yeah,
has.
yeah, we want to ask you. So you
Sure.
started your business during the pandemic. How
Yes.
did it start? Tell us your story.
So the story was I was supposed to actually snatch another job in Singapore. So
Mm,
I had a job in Singapore for nearly 9 years, and
Mm.
then moved to Tokyo, and then
Mhm.
went back again to Singapore. Na magkakaroon dapat ako ng job, but then
Mhm.
the pandemic happened, the borders were closing, so I basically just went back home. And
Mhm.
then for about 2 months, 3 months, I was just tinkering around and doing some creative
mm,
um, things to, you know, make
mm,
myself productive. And then suddenly I just had the idea I have to do something. It's
Mhm.
creative. Something has to do with interiors, with architecture, but it's something I could do as a business on my own.
Mhm.
So I thought, okay, furniture design might be something interesting because it's I do it. I could do it on my own. I could sketch something on my own, and then I could just partner up with people to actually help me build it all together.
Mhm.
And that's precisely how it all happened. So yeah.
mm.
Oh, what
Wow.
kind of work were you doing in Singapore?
So in Singapore and in Tokyo,
Mhm.
I worked as a project manager. So I'm an
Mhm.
architect by profession. So
Mhm.
when you say a project manager, you basically don't design,
Mm.
but you do. The drawings are already given to you, and
Mhm.
then you basically execute that by speaking to. the team, the construction team, the clients, the
Mhm.
other consultants, the other project managers, basically everyone in the team. So ikaw yung pinaka main lead person to
Mhm.
manage the entire project. So that's what I've been doing back in Singapore and in Tokyo.
Mhm.
And most of the projects that I've had there are basically high-rise buildings and
Mhm.
luxury hotels. I've never done actually project management of homes, of residences.
Mhm.
So it's basically buildings, and I had a multi, like, no, it's like a 9 hectare condominium compound as well that I
Mhm.
had done. Yeah,
Okay, so it's very different from what you're doing now, I suppose.
super different from what I'm doing now. Yes, because now it's mostly on my own, like
Mhm.
sketching it on my own, and then I'm just asking my friends for help. Hey, does this look nice? Do you think
Uh-huh.
this will sell? And then after that, it's like, okay, let's do it. And then I think about ways and collaborate with the workers, with the carpenters, on how to build it all up together. And then that's it. And then everything else is down to the business plan, like marketing it and making sure that the sales is there. Yeah, so it's a different ballgame altogether. And I think the interesting part as well here is I'm able to really make use of my entrepreneurial, my wish to become an entrepreneur as well. Yung
Oh.
entrepreneurial skills, I get to use it up. Back then, kasi when I was still as working as an architect, as a salary man,
Mhm.
I was thinking of like, I can't be doing this forever. I need to do something on
Yeah.
my own, and I need to, feel the thrill of becoming an entrepreneur who grinds from morning to evening. And
Mhm.
right now, I'm actually doing that, and I think I'm getting what I've bargained for, more than what I've bargained for. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
because
yeah, go Francine.
yeah, because earlier when you were talking about making it in Singapore and Tokyo and getting another job in Singapore,
Yes, that's
I was
right.
sort of thinking like there was a certain momentum in terms of your career story, but then you needed to have that break. I think you probably destiny for you to become the entrepreneur that you've always wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I think everyone has their own pandemic story. And I think my pandemic story was that this 2 3 month boredom of trying to, become productive on my own, like in the confines of my home,
Mhm.
really made me think so well and reflect so hard, that this was the leap, the push that I needed to actually leap into becoming an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And, I think because at that point when I was reflecting on all these things, I said to myself, I don't want a new job. I don't want to be another salary man again.
Mhm.
And I was not looking for a job, and I did not want to have a job basically. So I thought I need to do something on my own, and that's what happened.
I think that's very courageous. Brave.
Thank you.
But I'm sure that before you ventured into your own business, you studied the industry, right?
I
So,
did. I
what
did.
can you say about the local furniture industry right now?
So here's the thing. This is very interesting as well. When I was actually when I was doing the research, I there was a bigger influx now of like cheap, quick manufactured furniture
Mm.
coming from different countries. I mean, we know that there's a particular country that usually a lot of the furniture comes from,
Mhm.
and um, that's possibly one of the biggest competitors at the moment. And now that IKEA is coming in as well, that's going to be a huge competitor as well for
Mhm.
a lot of the small and medium
Mhm.
enterprises of local furniture makers in the country. I took all those into consideration. That's why I tried to differentiate myself from those mass market kind of furniture
Yeah.
offerings, and that's why I branded my collection as very local, using only local materials. Like I don't actually use plastics in any of the materials here.
Mm.
We use local fabrics as well. Yung mga raw materials natin are all coming from the Philippines, and
Wow.
all the artisans, the handicrafts, the handicraft men are actually all from the Philippines. So that's how I actually differentiated myself. And another thing of differentiation is that
Mhm.
I actually put my name into the brand.
Mhm.
Um, when I was actually thinking about the business plan and all that, I was very hesitant on putting my name in there because I do not want to potentially be famous. That's number one. And number two, there's a lot of um, responsibility and accountability when you put your name on to your brand.
Mhm.
And so natatakot ako doon. I was very, very scared about that. But everyone in my friends and in my family and my circle basically pushed me to say, Jed, no, I think this is the right time. There's not many Filipino designers now who actually has a brand name based on their name. So I think that's what I did right now because we have the really famous ones have been in the industry for quite a long time now, and they're still there. And I look up to all these people, but I think sometimes it would be nice to actually have new names in the market that people that contemporary the millennials or the younger generation could actually see now and be inspired from. And I think that was one of the aspirations that I had as well when I was actually looking into the business plan of my company.
Very nice.
Yeah, but uh, have you always been into this eco green philosophy,
Mhm.
even as an architect? Is that something that you
Um,
brought into yourself when you decided
like I
to
said,
become an
because
architect?
when I was in Singapore and in
Mm.
Japan, I was just accepting the drawings on my hand and then I just
Mm.
execute them. But in
Mhm.
terms of the philosophy, these all came together during the pandemic, really,
Oh.
because I realized that a lot of people were losing their jobs. A lot of the and the economy needs to be saved. And so one of the best things to do to help that would
Mhm.
be to create a brand line that is actually saving the local economies of the country, which is making use of the local materials in the country. Because even the local materials, there's a lot of people involved in that.
Mm.
These are the harvesters, the farmers, and the people who are living in the forests where we take all the rattan from.
Mhm.
This is where the livelihood of these people come from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's basically just that thought made me realize, oh, I think we need to push more of the local materials, of the local crafts of the Philippines. And also because this is also it's just not being eco-friendly, but also it's part of making sure that the tradition of local handicrafts are
Mhm.
still being preserved
Mhm.
up until this point. It's very funny because when you go to different workshops of rattan making in the Philippines, like in Pampanga or in Cebu, they would all tell you the same story that many of our the handicraftsmen,
Mhm.
they're actually getting older and older. And the younger generation right now do not actually want to do that job.
Oh.
And so the lineage, nawawala.
Mm-mm.
But when you have producers, when you have big furniture companies who actually support all these activities, then the support to actually have the younger generation have the gets you could get them to be motivated. You could get the younger generation to be motivated and inclined to actually pursue that kind of local crafts as well. So it's all building up many little things, and when
Mhm.
you do one step at a time, could become a bigger effect to the country.
I really like that vision of
Thank
helping
you.
the local industry and the local craftsmen
Yeah,
and skilled workers in the
Yes.
Philippines. And we really need that right now.
we do, we do, we do.
Mm. Was it
Makes you
hard? Was it hard to go around and source your workers and your
So what I did initially was to actually collaborated with workshop to do this, and so we actually helped out together to pool all the people, and
mm,
then as it grew, more and more people, like we just basically ask around
mm,
and give them the promise that this business is going to go big, because
mhm,
that's what they need. It's words of
yeah.
reassurance that you're going to stick up to them, and then that will actually already motivate them and incentivize them.
Mm. That's true. Makes you think a lot about a particular piece of furniture from here on, right? Takes a community to build a
Yes,
chair.
exactly. It's exactly. It takes a village to actually. It's very
Build
funny
a
because
chair, build a bar stool. Right,
yeah,
Jed?
just from sketching it, from sketching is so easy. You could do that like in under an hour or 30 minutes. But then
Maybe
when you
Jed
start
can.
building it,
Which really leads me to my next question. The design part. When did you get into that? Have you always been a
uh,
scribbler?
you know, I'm actually, like I said, in my nearly 10 years of experience as an architect, I never actually designed.
Mm.
Well, I did some few, feasibility studies of a hotel, but that's about it. I'd never actually designed from down to the minute detail. I never done that.
What?
But I knew deep in me that I'm a good designer. Even
Mhm.
because when I was in university back in UP Diliman, I knew I was a good designer.
Okay.
And then, when you have it in you, sometimes you just need a very good channel to actually exhibit that and just let it be exposed. And so I took that as a challenge, like, okay, let's just do this. I'm just gonna sketch it out again and then make sure that it looks good. And I think that design skills in me as well was also very much influenced by the many beautiful things that I saw when I was living abroad in Singapore and in Japan, and mostly in Japan. The as we all know, the aesthetics of Japan and the sensibilities about beauty in Japan, it's just too much. It's just so good and so you know parang it's really something that you could see and feel and smell just by looking at it. And I think that really influenced me quite a lot in terms of the design motivation that I had in doing this furniture brand.
Okay, so we'll ask Jed to talk more about the pieces that the first collection that he made when we return after this short break.
Iba ng panahon, ang dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Buti ang bayan, bigger, better na. You can buy it sa centers, pati sa mga parties, may online pa at app. You can buy it with your fingers, still don't remittance and more. Online shopping, you can buy it all. Di magpadala, you can buy it all. Anumang pera transaction, you can buy it all. Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayan.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako!
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Hello, can I get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slide, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget my...
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Wait lang. Okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver. Call.
Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa... fiancé ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami
Call
mag-deliver.
to deliver. Call. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Call. Hashtag 143SM. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Call na rin kayo.
Call to deliver.
And we are back on
Yes.
Spotlight. I'm Dina Ventura, and I'm here with Francine Marquez. And we have with us Jed Yabut of Jed Yabut Furniture and Design. So, Jed,
Yes.
before we took a break, we were asking you about the first collection that you made. Take us back to the time when you were starting to conceptualize the pieces that you were going to make.
So basically, the very first, when I was conceptualizing this, I actually learned first Rattan, which is basically what the main material of the furniture collection is all about. I just studied, the different species, and it's all just by Googling everything. And then from there, I looked into the characteristics of rattan, the processes you do to actually bend it, and to put it all together and assemble it. And then from there, I thought about looking into different silhouettes, into different shapes and forms until, yun. And then I looked into different design inspirations as well. Like when I was conceptualizing, I want to make sure that it was very Filipino as well in terms of look and in terms of the texture. So I looked into yung mga local icons natin, mga pop icons natin, yung mga festivities, the local geographies, and hence that's why I actually named some most of my collection actually based on local icons and mga geographies and mga festivities natin.
Wow, parang artistic output to eh.
Yeah, it's very conceptual basically. It's very conceptual, the entire collection.
So I think that's part of a good design. No, there has to be a story behind it. Each
Yeah,
piece
that's true.
filled
That's
with story.
actually every piece definitely has a story. I could tell, but we will take days to do that because I've got 22 pieces here, and each of them has got their own beautiful story to tell in terms of how challenging some of them were to make. And yung mga away-away ng mga carpenters and yung mga bakers just to work on it. All of these, even the drama is actually part of making
Part of that. Wow.
Yeah.
So you
I
have
guess that's-
22 pieces in your collection.
Yes, we have 22 pieces in the collection, and now we're actually doing a lot of more pieces, and there's more of the in the new collection actually. No, I wouldn't call it new collection, but it's mostly commission pieces, because right now there's a lot of commission pieces that a lot of our clients who are actually trusting us to actually make, and it all adds up to this new collection. So it's very interesting.
How often do you come up with collections? I mean, it's not like fashion where you do spring, summer.
Actually, we just had the first collection at the moment. And then, but again, like I mentioned, it's adding up. The first collection is adding up because of the commission pieces that we have been doing. Now, I make sure to tell the clients that if you want me to commission a project, we better make sure that the new piece is actually designed based on the patterns, the motif, the look of the current collection.
Okay.
Because I really don't want to add new stuff, because for me, hindi siya maganda in terms of the business, because I keep on thinking and designing takes time, So I just tell the clients, I'm just gonna base the design on the new on the collection that we have at the moment, and then we just tweak it, and then we do it, and then. But right now, we haven't actually. We're still brainstorming on the next collection. We don't know yet when we are gonna do the next collection, but we are thinking about maybe end of the year, probably. We don't know yet. Because right now, we haven't really reached the wider market at the moment. We only have 3,000 followers on Instagram and on Facebook, less than 3,000 on Facebook. And we don't have that much scale at the moment. And, there's millions and millions of people all over the world, and we haven't really reached yet. A lot of people, millions of people still don't know about our collection. So we will milk this collection first before actually go on and proceed with our second collection.
But do you have clients abroad, or are you limited? With
You know,
the local market?
there's a lot of Filipinos in America, in Japan, in Singapore, where they've been asking me about, do you actually ship? Even my friends in Europe and in Canada, Jed, do you ship? Like, I wish I know how to. No, but we are speaking with a lot of logistics company now, but we don't have the scale yet. We don't have the bulk volume as of yet. And, putting only pieces by cargo just is very expensive. And sometimes it can be much more expensive than the piece itself. So what's the point? So we're still getting to that point. We're reaching that point where we could deliver everything in one bulk. Get a truck, get it delivered, and then So if anybody who's watching could give me an idea on how to crack this logistics issue, please do let me know.
But Jed, you also participated at the recent Manila Fame virtual.
Yeah, so I was
How was
invited
it?
to the Fame. Yeah, but it's
was
really
that like?
sometimes hard to actually just see the collection online on screen.
Mhm.
You know, there's a much fuller draw. There's a much draw, if a stronger draw. If you see it in person, if you see the textures, you could feel it.
Mhm.
Mas napapabili yung mga tao when they see it. You know, that's why I think it's very important that I have a showroom, which I'm actually doing
Working
now.
on, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So what's a Jed Yabut trademark?
The Jed Yabut trademark. I think that the trademark of the furniture collection right now is that it's actually minimalist, clean lines.
Mhm.
It's very simple, to be honest with you. The silhouette, the forms of the furniture,
Mhm.
they're actually very, very clean and simple. And I think um, a lot of them actually are very random in terms of patterns. If you see the entire collection, many of our furniture pieces actually are very random in terms of the placement of where the rattan should be. Sometimes I tell the workers, Kuya, kahit ano, ikaw na bahala, maglagay ka ng random. And I do that because I want them to actually, own, have a sense of ownership as well in terms of the creative ownership into the piece. Like I give them a direction, like, okay, this is going to be this, pero random dapat siya, kuya. Pero I'd like you to do whatever you want para may sense of ownership ka rin. So I do that. Clean lines, very like I just use blacks and whites at the moment with a fabric. What else? I think and of course one of the biggest design consideration that I have is that it needs to look unique and modern and fresh. And I did my research as well. Like there's a lot of rattan furniture all over the world, in the Philippines as well. You could easily see them on Pinterest, on Instagram, and a lot of these furniture inspo, that's what they call it, inspo
Inspo.
websites, and bohemian inspired interiors. There's a lot of rattan furniture, but I made sure that my rattan pieces do not look like them at all. So
I think you succeeded.
I think I did. Thank you.
Yeah. But Jed, you work in Tokyo, Japan, and
Yes.
you were mentioning words like minimalist, very clean lines.
Yes.
How have you been influenced by the Japanese
Oh,
trends of
so
design?
much. So much. I'm the influence of Japan in my design aesthetics is huge, huge. It's huge. It's huge. Um, um, it has actually. It's actually I naging ano na siya. It's really part of me. Being Japanese is a big part of me now. I consider myself Japan, to be honest with you. I can speak the
Japinoy.
language. Japino, yeah. I could speak the language, and I every time I travel around Japan, I take snapshots of the beautiful things that I see. And sometimes actually when I'm designing, I scroll through all the photos that I have in Japan, and then the architecture sometimes of Japan's like, oh, this looks good, this might look nice, and then I put a Pinoy twist to it most of the time. But that's what I do, as a designer, you keep on evolving in terms of your design philosophies and putting all your inspirations, all the past experiences that you have had, put them all together and then bottle them up, and then you put them in a piece of paper. And I think that's how you succeed as a very good designer. All the best practices, all the good and beautiful things that you see, you put them all together, and I think that's how you become a good designer.
What about your upbringing, Jed? Are you part of a creative family, like a
Actually,
family of
no.
architects, designers?
I don't know. I think my mom would know. But I would, as far as I know, I'm the first architect in the family.
Oh.
So, yeah. As far as I know. As far as I know. I don't know. Pero yung mga pinsan pala ng mom ko, they're architect din. But that's about it. But no. I'm the first architect, I think. In my generation, at least.
Your parents ba, what do they do?
So my mom is a nurse, and my dad works at the LRT. So they're all government employees. Yeah.
Oh, so you're also a first generation entrepreneur from your family? Would you
My
say
brother
so?
is actually. So my brother,
You don't sound sure.
he's my brother, and he's an entrepreneur. So yeah.
So there are two of you in the family, two sons.
No, we're three in the family. My
Three.
sister's an interior designer,
Okay.
so
Oh,
she's
Oh,
also
very
been
good.
willing to help me a lot. And yeah, speaking of interior designer, I think a part of the portfolio diversification of Jed Yabut Furniture and Design is that sooner or later we'll become also a design company.
oh, that's
Kaya nga,
nice.
furniture and design.
Okay,
Why
kaya.
not? Why not? I
So
think
the
that's
design part is going to be the architecture and the interior design part.
yeah. I think that's a direction of a lot of furniture groups right now.
Yes, yes,
Maybe
yes.
because of the synergy collaboration that designers get into.
Mm.
Yes,
Eventually, it's the natural process to get into
Yes.
interior design,
it is. It is.
especially if they have clients who really adore the works and they want to have it maybe um, curated at home. I
Yep.
think that's a good direction for you, Jed.
Yes, yes. It's in the pipeline. Well, we just don't know when we're going to start, but it's in the pipeline for sure.
Lay down the plans already.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm curious about rattan. Why you chose it in the first place? Were you considering other materials?
I was considering yung mga wood, yung mga bamboo,
Mm.
but I think rattan is very, very particularly Filipino. I mean, in terms of the aesthetics and in terms of it being a very tropical species of plants, I
Okay.
think very Pinoy, and that's why I chose it. I could have chosen bamboo, but bamboo sometimes it's also very difficult to work with,
Mm.
and bamboo is actually all over the world. So there's not much of a differentiation. Rattan in on the other hand is very tropical, and we were a huge exporter of rattan furniture back in the 80s.
Mhm.
After and the Philippines and Indonesia were huge exporters of rattan, and then China came in. The labor was very cheap, and in fact, the Chinese furniture designers of rattan actually get hold of rattan raw materials from the Philippines. Kaya nagkakaubusan ngayon ng mga ng rattan dito sa Philippines
Nako.
because we basically export the
Oh.
rattan raw material to China. And so I just capitalize on the fact that it's just very Pinoy in terms of the
The look.
sort and the look. Yeah,
Is it easy to maintain rattan furniture compared
it is
to?
actually very easy. Contrary to public opinion about rattan being difficult to actually maintain, and they're not as durable as people might think, because it's still flexible, right? It's actually a very strong material, and that's why a lot of rattan actually they could go old for decades. In fact, yung mga solia natin, yung mga solia
Solia, yeah.
those are all rattan. They're just the skin of the rattan.
Mm.
Yeah. Which reminds me, there's a resurgence of Solia furniture right
Oh
now.
yes, oh yes, oh yes. That's why I try not to use solia because everyone is using
I mean,
Kay Jed,
But-
mga
but I-
lines.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I-
Which means there's really a popularity of rattan right now. People are appreciating it again.
Yes. I think the campaign of love local, support local is still very strong at the moment, which is good. I'm very happy about that. It's a big boost to the local furniture companies as well. It's a good boost for me as well because I'm partly benefiting from that. Yeah.
So aside from Japan and your travels, what else inspires you, Jed?
What else inspires me? I guess the motivation. I would term that as what it motivates me. What motivates me is to elevate Filipino craftsmanship and to push more Filipino rattan or yung mga native products natin to the global stage. That's my wish. That's actually one of the biggest motivation that I have. And that's why I make sure that the the designs are actually not just appealing to the local taste, but also to the international taste.
Yes.
That's very important because when I want to export my furniture, I better make sure that I've got people who would think that this is beautiful in terms of their aesthetic truth. And when I ask my friends from abroad, like, do you think this is nice in your eyes? And then, yeah, it looks beautiful, Jed. And then that's already a check. So yeah, that's one of the biggest motivation that I have right now. It's I wish to make this brand not just be known locally, but also internationally.
Very nice. And I think this is the perfect time to showcase the designs of Jed. What do you think, Francine?
Yes, but I think we'll pause for a break
Okay.
before we excite our viewers.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first hatch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Jed.
Oh,
And we are back with Jed Yabut on
Enjoy the
Spotlight,
chat with them.
the very inspiring designer of furniture and
Yes, yes.
advocate of local, love local. Okay, so Francine, let's show some pictures and Jed can talk about each one.
Yeah, we sort of trolled your showroom.
Online.
So maybe just describe these
Ayan.
pieces. Oh, this one. I love the title, the name.
Tinikling.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, basically this is, for obvious reasons, I call this tinikling because of the tiled parang bamboo poles ng tinikling.
Yeah, yeah.
Gaganyan.
Put it all together in one coffee table. So yeah.
It's nice. It looks beautiful, no? And then our next photo.
Wow.
Oh, this one.
Yeah,
That's
this one.
everything.
This one is called the Talon. I named this Talon because it looks like a water flowing from the edge.
Oh, yeah.
It's like waterfall. Basically, it's a talon, waterfall. So that's what I did. This is a bar stool. So basically, I played with a lot of negative spaces in my design. So you highlight the negative spaces so that nakita mo mas lalo, na-emphasize lalo yung things that needs to be emphasized when you have a big negative space. And that's what I did here. So the legs basically, para siyang it becomes invisible, the legs. So what you see is basically the flow of the rattan from the backrest all the way to the step, to the footrest.
Looks very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you always have these photo shoots of your furniture, sort of telling the story.
Yes,
I actually friendly.
I took this photos in the probinsya because I actually wanted to highlight the probinsya. You know, when I was in the workshop, kasi malayo talaga yung workshop, and you know the beauty of our probinsya in the Philippines is sometimes nakakalimutan natin. And that's why if you see the catalog that I have, it's all basically the probinsya as the background of the furniture, and not only because I wanted to highlight, you know, the beauty of the probinsya, but also it's also an homage to me na I was there in solitary, sketching and working with a craftsman, and I want to honor that moment and the experience that I've had in the probinsya. So that's what I did.
Wow, poetic ang kanyang ano. Okay, that's really
And then
nice. No, you made the wood look fluid. Very nice.
Yeah.
into the woods. Next photo. Ayan, iba namang ano.
So this one naman, those two side tables are called the bunot, the cleaning tool in the traditional Filipino house. And I'm sure even now meron pa rin tayo. So it looks like the bunot. So,
Yes. Clever title.
and it's actually this is one of our best selling piece. I think the very unique shape of the side tables are very appealing
Yeah.
to the clients. The other chair that I have, it's one of the first chairs that I have. This is actually called Cuadro. Actually, this is a very again, play on the negative spaces. So it looks like a floating chair, basically.
Yeah, it
Yung legs
does.
niya parang, it becomes invisible again. Pero all you see is basically this parang dahon na nakalutang sa square legs.
Nga, no?
Yeah, and this one naman, this is a very I was inspired by Japanese shapes here. So I think it's very obviously yung Japanese influence on this particular chair.
Ganda.
Next photo.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that.
this is actually a bench. So actually, one of the design consideration as well when I was doing all the entire collection was that I want to make sure that the pieces that I have here are just not for grand homes, but also for small spaces, for condo spaces. And that's why I made sure that the pieces are pragmatic and there are multi-purpose. So case in point is this tambol, which is a bench, or it could also be a bed end piece.
Right.
And you can actually, all the cushions there are actually removable. And then below that is actually could be a storage. So
Nice.
it becomes all multi-purpose. Actually, one of the clients are actually requesting to say yung base niyan, it's actually just one whole base na oval yung shape niya. But another client was actually requesting if I could cut it up into 3 pieces to actually make it
modular.
modular.
I like that. I like
So
that.
we'll see if we could do that.
It's a very adaptable furniture, no? Very flexible.
There are many pieces that are actually that has this kind of function as well. Like natatanggal siya. I actually did that on purpose.
Galing.
So you can, if you want to rearrange your space again, if you want a new look, no?
Yeah.
Jed Yabut furniture will be very handy. Comes in perfectly with the space. And then this one. I like this. I like that spot.
Ang ganda.
And the dog.
Yeah. So that chair is actually one of our best-selling chairs. It's called Talon chair. It's called Talon because yung shape ng kanyang rest is actually like shape of the wave.
Yeah.
So
Very comfortable and elegant looking.
yeah. So this is actually one of our best-selling piece, and some of our clients are requesting for a 2-seater and a 3-seater for this. So we're actually doing a 3-seater and a 2-seater right now. And then
The table.
And then the table, it has an interesting leg.
yeah, the table is called bastrada. So
Let's try that.
my inspiration for that is the balusters in the staircases and in windows, the mga high na bato houses.
Mga old houses. Oo
Yeah,
nga.
that was the inspiration for that.
What
I
do
just-
you use? What do you use for the tabletop?
So the tabletop for balustrada is basically a dark gray glass. So it's a dark gray glass, but it kind of looks actually black in person. But it's a, and then this is on its right is actually a bookshelf. It's called Kagubatan.
I like
And
the
this is-
shelf.
That's actually my personal favorite piece
It's so
of the collection.
nice.
It's called Kagubatan. If you see it in person, you will. I just love it. It's also because of the drama that unfolded doing that. It's the most challenging piece that we have done, to be honest with you. And actually, I helped out in working that myself. Actually, I'm very hands-on pala on in the workshop. I really do help. But this kagubatan was actually the most difficult thing that we have done. The basically the sides of this bookshelf are basically rattan spokes in different angles. So parang yung iba naka ganyan lang siya, yung iba naka ganito, naka angle. So
Yeah.
ganun siya. And I called it kagubatan because it looks like layers and layers of trees in the rainforest.
Yeah.
So that's basically the inspiration for that. But it looks beautiful and it's because it's big. It's
What's the size?
sorry.
The specs of that bookshelf looks tall.
Para siyang it's nearly 1 meter in wide. Tapos width niya it's almost half a meter, and then the taas is about 2 meters high.
Wow.
So
Laki pala.
it's big. It's big. You know, it's funny because a lot of the clients, when they see it in person, pag nakuha na nila yung item nila, Jed, it's big pala. You know, it could easily be fooled by the catalog. It looks small there, but it looks actually big in person. Like some of the lamps that I have, they're actually like this. You know, I could show you this one. This is one of the lamps. This is quite big as well.
Like that.
It's actually quite big, you know.
But it's such a statement piece. Parang walang Jed Yabut na hindi statement piece.
Oo nga eh. It's kind of like
Everything is beautiful. Like even that when you say that the pieces of the shelves are like trees, I think it's calculated randomness. Parang ganon. which makes
Yeah,
it
that's
beautiful.
right. That's right. You know, when we were working on those, yung kanyang angles, yung different angles na ginagawa. You know, I just positioned them, and then yung mga carpenters, okay na ba to, Sir Jed? And then they are just gonna, you know, nail down na nila. Actually, it's all these design processes unfold when I'm already there. Like I just do it randomly. Sometimes I just let the carpenters do it randomly as well. And I think even with the randomness, with the chaos, comes beauty as well. So I think that's what our actually design philosophy is as well. So dito sa collection na to. We call it perfectly imperfect and beautiful chaos.
ayun.
Because,
Artist
you know,
pala talaga si Jed.
Yeah. We have another photograph.
Ayan.
Ayun.
Nice.
So the divider there is called buwan. It's called buwan because it's half circle and full circles. So yun yung ano dyan. And that's actually a very, very beautiful piece. That's actually one of my favorite pieces as well, that divider there. The chair is not mine. So, and then
Let's not
the
talk
lamp
about it.
there, the bottom is the one that I just showed you. It's actually called papa. Because it looks like a cape. In fact, kino-conceptualize ko to, parang sa isip ko, para tong ano, yung favorite phrase ng mga Pinoy na bahala na si Batman. So I was actually supposed to call it Batman. Kasi maganda rin na bahala na si Batman, kind of, you know.
Yes.
allusion
to it, but you can't. It's trademark. So I said, okay, kapa na lang.
But the divider, I like it because you can also turn it. You can also put it against your window. Parang it has a.
Yes.
It's the way the light comes through the piece.
The
Yes.
room. Yeah.
Yes. I love that divider. I really, really love that.
Yeah. And then I think our last photograph.
Oh.
Not yet. Second to the last. Every writer's dream.
Oo, ang ganda.
Yeah.
That desk is called the bubuyog because yung cabinet sa ilalim was actually, it looks like a a bee comb.
Bee comb, yeah.
Kaya bubuyog yung tinawag ko dyan. So that's basically, ano rin yan, we actually wrapped the cabinet with rattan in different sizes. So sabi ko again sa carpenter, ikaw na bahala kuya. Basta ito lang yung ano natin, pag dikit-dikit mo lang siya, but it's all different sizes. And then even the top of that table, it's also like wrapped with different sizes of rattan.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
The lamp.
The lamp is called Cometa. It's actually, it's called Cometa. Actually,
Nice.
it's far. Ayoko na kunin. I actually like this that lamp as well. It's a desk lamp, so it looks like a comet, flying. So that's why I call that cometa. And then the chair is one of the harder chairs that we've done. It's easy. It looks easy to do, but it's actually quite difficult to make. It's called abanico because the backrest looks like an abanico,
Fan.
a fan.
Yeah,
then-
nice.
The stool there is called the puno. So yeah,
There
this
you
one,
go. The kappa, I
kapa.
suppose.
Tambol. Yes, that's right.
Ooh, I like it. It has a particular mood. It brings about a certain mood to the place, di ba?
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the tambol. Nice. I like the way that everything just synergizes. A lot of people say, a lot of maybe some homeowners would prefer eclectic pieces, but I like the fact that when you put together your furniture, they sort of just synergize and don't
Yeah.
look so matchy. There's
Yes.
still that diversity in terms of the
Right.
mood and the tone.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. So
Thank you.
there we go. We'll just wait for the showroom to happen.
Yes, I'm excited for the showroom
That's our last photo.
to let the public come in and see the place.
Yeah. And we'll see more.
Hopefully, yeah.
Where will
More.
your showroom be located?
It
In
will be
Poblacion?
in Poblacion, Makati.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. We're hoping to open as soon as the ECQ eases. But as of now, we're trying to just clean the place up first, and then do some more renovation, and then we should be good to go.
Okay, can't wait for that for the next collection from Jed. What kind of
Ah,
artistic inspiration na naman to?
oo nga. And now we know that anything is limitless if you have the imagination for it, no? From small pieces to big pieces. We
Yeah.
just saw it in Jed's works.
So before we wrap up the show, Jed, maybe you'd like to share your message with our viewers.
Parting words?
Yes, your parting words.
Parting words is basically I just wish that Filipinos would support local industries and local products, especially at this time where it is mostly needed by our fellow men. And I mean, you don't have to buy from me. I'm not pleading you to buy from me, but I just wish that we always try to support as much as we can our products here in the Philippines, even though medyo mahal siya, but let's take that pain with us, and because there's a bigger help and support that you actually do with that pain, that small pain that you actually feel. And again, you don't have to buy from me, but I wish the support at least that I could get from everyone, from our viewers or from everyone, is to just follow our social media accounts on Instagram and on Facebook, which is Jed Yabut Furniture. And we will be posting a lot of information there about the opening of our showroom. And I wish to invite you in that in our showroom as soon as possible. Just come over. We will have a cafe there as well, so it would be nice to. It's gonna be on the second floor, al fresco balcony, so it has a good view as well when it's a cafe. So it's gonna be nice.
Okay,
You heard that,
Francine.
Dina. And we'll hear more of the beautiful stories behind Jed's furniture.
Yeah, so thank you, Jed, for sharing your story with us this afternoon. We wish you the best
Thank
of
you so
luck.
much as well.
And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And thank you
So-
everyone for watching Spotlight. This has been Dina Ventura.
And this has been Francine Marquez. And
This has been Spotlight.
Spotlight.